Hey guys, Nick Sanders here, physical therapist with Fit for Function. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about using your HyperVolt Go before a golf round to improve your flexibility, give you more range in your turn so that hopefully you can hit the ball further, but also keep you healthy, right? Keep you from irritating the knee, back, neck, whatever it might be. So we're going to look specifically at using your HyperVolt Go and talk about some of the areas that we commonly look at to increase range in the golf swing. I want to preface this by saying I am not a golf coach. My role here is not to give you tips on your golf swing. I want to give you the range of motion and the freedom so that you can talk with your golf coach and your pro so that they can help you improve your swing mechanics, right? I just want to give you the freedom and the range to be able to execute what they're coaching you to do, and that's our goal. This, of course, is not medical advice. We're just giving you some general ideas. If you have a specific problem, reach out to us at fitforfunction.com. We do free phone consults. We'd love to work with you. But in the meantime, let's get going and look at how you can use your Go before each match. The beauty of the HyperVolt Go is it's tiny. So you can put this in your golf bag. It can stay in your car very easily. It travels. It's nice and easy to use. It comes with two different head attachments that we'll look at for hitting different areas of the body. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the feet and we're going to work our way up. So the first attachment that we're going to start with is the bullet. It's that trigger point looking attachment head. They just plug in very simply. To turn on your Go, there's a button right on the front edge of the thing. You're just going to hold that until you see the battery light up. Now your unit is on. The HyperVolt Go has 3 speed settings. When you hit the button again, it'll turn the unit on. So you'll see the head start to oscillate. You got one blue light on the bottom. It has 3 speeds, second, third. Okay. Choose the one that you feel is most comfortable. We like to talk about being at about a 50% intensity. So, if you're pushing on an area, you want to feel it enough to stimulate the nervous system to create some blood flow and some sensory change in that area, but you don't want to push so hard that you make yourself miserable. So about 50% or 5 out of 10 intensity is going to work. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to start on the 1 setting. I recommend everybody start on the 1 setting so you get an idea how it feels, and then as you get more comfortable with it, if you want to add a little more, add a little more. That's always fine. But we're going to start on the 1 speed setting for the Go. When we look at the foot, okay, and we're looking at things you can do for yourself, right, easy before a match. So as you're changing your shoes out, real quick, just work that inside edge of the foot so that you can keep that foot grounded. What we see a lot of times in our golfers when it comes to knee pain, in Achilles issues, lateral kind of calf pain, is we see when we're going through the turn, because our hips or our back are too tight, that foot rolls to the outside too early and we lose our footing. And when that foot rolls out too early, you're losing a lot of torque, but it's also going to cause more stress at the knee as you're coming through the swing and the lateral part of the lower leg and even the Achilles maybe. So for the HyperVolt, what we're going to do is we're going to work this inside edge first. Again, I have the bullet attachment. I like grabbing the short head of the tool. I feel like I have a little more control. And I'm going to work right through the inside edge of my arch. So you got a bone, the knuckle behind your big toe, if you will, that metatarsal. And then you got all this meat on the inside edge of your toe, or the inside edge of your foot. And you're just going to work right through that inside edge. And I'm going to work back towards my heel bone. As I'm working through that edge, if I find anything tender, like right there's a little tender spot for myself, I'm just going to stay put. So I'm going to stay here for about 30 seconds and just let it relax. We like to look at about 90 seconds per area of the body. So if I stay at each spot for 30 seconds, I do 3, maybe 4 spots, that's going to give me somewhere in that 90 second to 2 minute range. That's going to be really nice. Quick, easy. Okay? Some of the muscles and the nerves that go to the inside of the foot work up the inside of the shin. So while I'm here, I'm also going to come right up that inside edge of my shin. Be aware there's a bone right there. That bone's called your tibia. Stay behind it, right? Stay towards the calf side of that bone. You don't want to put the attachment right on there, but right along the backside edge, right along the back edge of that, you'll find all kinds of fun stuff, and you can work right up the inside edge of your foot. It'll get you into the calf, some of the muscles that go down into the bottom of the foot, as well as some of the nerves. These muscles help control your arch. So our goal here is to kind of activate this area so that you can keep that big toe knuckle on the ground as you're going through your swing and through your turns, so that you're not rolling out early. Okay? Real nice, real quick and simple area to hit. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to move up to the hip flexor. Hip flexor runs from the front of the hip, attaches kind of underneath your belly on the front side of the spine. It pulls the hip up. A lot of us are working jobs where we're sitting too much, we're driving too much, we're doing all of these things. It gets that hip tight. if that hip flexor is tight and it's active because it's holding us up and sitting all day long, it's going to inhibit the glutes. Our body works in opposites. So if I want to bend my elbow, for example, in order to bend my elbow, my bicep has to activate and my tricep has to be able to relax. We call this reciprocal inhibition. When one side activates, the other side turns off. So if my hip flexor is always turned on, right, if it's always firing, the opposite muscle might not fire as quickly, acutely, sharply. It might not be as triggered to fire. So a tight hip flexor could lead to inactive glutes. We know in the golf swing that as we're coming through the turn and we're going through impact, at some point that glute needs to fire so the hip can extend. That's what's going to generate a lot of power as your hips are coming through the ball. And we're trying to create that pelvic rotation, that pelvic turn to come through the ball. So we want to do a quick release on the hip flexors. We'll turn this guy back on. Mid-thigh, come straight up right into the crease of your hip. We're just going to go straight down onto the crease of the hip. Sometimes you'll find something really tender in there, either right in the middle point or a little to the outside. And you can work all the way around through here. Kind of hits the top of the quad, hits that hip flexor. The same thing, I'm looking for a tender spot and I'm going to spend 30 seconds or so on each spot. Maybe I hit 3 of them or so. Pressure intensity, whether you use this is going to let you put more pressure through it if you grab the long head or the short head of that, but keep the intensity about 5 out of 10. If you want to add some movement here, you can kind of kick the knee back and forth as you're working through there. And again, we're just looking to release that hip flexor, release some of these muscles that get shortened in sitting so that we can better activate the glutes on the backside. Okay? With that said, we also need to be able to create rotation and turn through the hip. If I'm going to get into the backswing and into my follow through, my hips have to be able to rotate. If my hip joint won't rotate, then I'm going to create that rotation somewhere else. Or going to take that movement, I should say, somewhere else. I might side glide, right? So if you find yourself either extending out of the swing as you're coming down, or you feel yourself sliding back and forth in the swing excessively, it might be it might be a coaching thing, but it might also be that you just can't create the turn you need, and your body's just looking to get the club back there, so it's doing different things to get it there. So we want to open up that hip rotation in order to give you freedom in that turn. Quickest, simplest way, again, I'm going to use the bullet attachment here. I'm going to just kind of rotate towards my side a little bit. Right on the back side of my pocket, like in between your front pocket and your back pocket, you'll feel a bony bump. That bony bump is called the greater trochanter. The rotators of your hip attach to that bone. So the muscles that rotate the hip attach right on that trochanter. So I'm going to put my fingers right on that bone on the outside of my hip. I'm going to go, again, back pocket, maybe a little forward. I'm just going to press in. And same thing, I'm looking for tender spots. You don't want to hit the bone with it. When you hit the bone itself, it is a little tender. You'll feel the tool kind of bounce. So be careful not to hit the bone, and if you do, just make a quick adjustment. But we're just going to work through there. There's a real tender spot for me. And again, we're going to spend 30 seconds or so on each tender spot and working through there. I can add a little active motion here by pulling. I pin the spot where I find that tenderness, which is right there for me. And then I can pull my knee across midline and just create a little rotation. Again, my goal is to be able to free up that hip rotation so that my hips turn a little more free in the golf swing. Okay. So that's one of my favorites. The next spot we're going to hit, right? So we hit hips, into the foot, and calf into the hip. Now we got to work up into the back. When I look at golfers in the golf swing, again, we got to be able to create rotation. If you have any stiffness in that hip flexor in the QL, the quadratus lumborum, which is a muscle that connects the top of the hip to the bottom of the rib cage, if you have tightness through those muscles, that means you're kind of locked in. They're not going to let you side bend so much, but they're also going to keep you from being able to twist. And we need to be able to twist in the golf swing, obviously. So the first muscle we're going to hit when we look at the back here is that QL. So what I want you to do is just come down off your side and work your way down until you find a bone. There's a big kind of plate style bone. It's called the iliac crest. It's one of the hip bones of your pelvis. We're going to put our hand right on that bone, and then just above it, towards the back half of your body, if you press in there, it'll be fairly tender. A little tricky with the massager to get to, but definitely doable. I'm just going to turn my hand over, and we're going to press into the side. And if I side bend away from it a little bit, it'll open up that space so that I don't run into the hip bone or run into my ribs. And I'm just looking for a tender spot, right? So there's definitely a nice tender one for me. And I'm just gonna leave it on there until it starts to calm down, you know, whatever that is. Again, 30 seconds, hit a couple of spots, work 90 seconds through there. And again, our goal here is to open up these muscles on the side so that it's gonna allow more twist. Making our way up, we're gonna hit the pec and the lats. The pec and the lats are rotators of the shoulder. In this scenario, especially with the lat, we need to be able to get the club back. So the pec to get the club back and open up the chest on the back side of the swing. This has got to be open in order to create that rotation, create that opening of the chest as we go into the backswing. And then as we're coming through the ball, obviously that arm needs to be able to get across the body. So if I can't get my arm across the body, these muscles on the back of the shoulder might be blocking me in that part of the rotation. So what we're going to do here is for the pec, we're going to come off the collarbone, and we're going to go 2-3 fingers down until you find this muscular kind of ridge. There's a ridge coming right through the muscle belly of the pec. There's some nerve innervation in there as well, but we're going to come right off that muscle belly, and we're going to take the bullet attachment, and I'm just going to run right through that attachment. As you start to get up towards the head and the neck, it does get a little tricky. You can hear it vibrate. I'm sure the vibration on the audio here is going to be pretty crazy with the mic right there. But we're just going to work through the pec. Okay? If this is too intense with the bullet attachment, the flathead is a good supplement here. Okay? The next one we're going to go to after we've hit the pec, again 30 seconds on each, is the lat. Again, a little tougher to get to by yourself here, but this big muscle that's running down your side and attaches on the underside of your arm is your lat. We're going to take the go. We're going to bring this arm across the body, and we're just going to work through that armpit area, the back of the armpit. And again, I'm just looking for tender spots on the back side. 30 seconds each. There's a good one there. I can do a little rotation. I can try to pull my arm further across the body. I'm just coming all the way up towards the back of the shoulder, just to create some space so that arm can come across the body, whether you're talking backswing or follow through. The beauty of this is if we get the back loosened up and everything's rotating well, it'll take pressure off the neck also. Okay. So there you have it. There's a nice quick routine that you can use using your HyperVolt Go. Open up the feet, open up the hips, open up the back a little bit so that you're able to rotate. Obviously there's other choices if you have more devices and more tools to get the mid-thoracic and the mid-back kind of hard to get to with your handheld unit, but we'll show you those in subsequent videos. I hope this really helps you guys get some freedom and range of motion in your golf swing. If you're having a specific problem, your knee's bugging you, your back's bothering you, whatever, please reach out to us at fitforfunction.com. We can schedule a free phone consult. We can customize an individual plan to help you out specifically with your needs. But as far as a general warm-up, I really think this is going to work for you. Let us know how it does in the comments below. If there's another area you want to hit, leave a comment. Otherwise, we really appreciate a like, share, all those kinds of things. They help us grow the channel, reach more people like you. Hope that helps, and we'll see you real soon.